Friars. My name is Johnny Watts. I am one of the young pros, a part of the program, and I'm new this year to the program, actually. I graduated from Ball State in 2018, and right after that, I decided to go pro, so I've been playing pro ever since. This year, I qualified to be on the PGA Tour Latin America, and we played one event in Mexico, and right after that is when the PGA Tour kind of shut everything down. So leaves me here in Jacksonville with not too much to do other than just kind of practicing, hanging out with friends, doing the normal quarantine things that everybody else is doing. So today I just wanted to give you a little putting lesson. Really just there's three things that I like to focus on in my putting that I try to do every time I go to the course to practice. And the main three things that I like to focus on are tempo, setup, and then starting it off on the correct line. It's my understanding and my belief that if you get those three things down, then everything else kind of takes care of itself. And so here are three drills that I like to do that I think could definitely help you guys out too. I want to say none of these drills are made up by me. I've taken these from people over the years, whether it be my dad that kind of taught me growing up, or some other players that I saw them doing this on the putting green, or even my swing coach. So here are a few drills. I hope you like them, and hope to see you guys soon. So first I like to start with setup. Nothing crazy here. This is just going to be a simple towel under the armpit drill, and really what this is doing, it's essentially keeping your body all as one. So I know, like, I have a tendency, if I don't use this, for my elbows to kind of get away from my body, and that leaves a lot to your hands, as opposed to if you keep your arms a little more with your body, it allows yourself to rock your shoulders a little bit, keep everything as one. You probably have heard, keep the triangle in your forearms and your shoulders. A lot of great putters over the years. Ben Crenshaw loves to keep that triangle and just hands flowing through the stroke. And so this drill I love to do just because it simply keeps your arms with your body. Anytime you let go or anytime your arm falls away from your body a little bit, towel will fall off. So as long as you keep that towel underneath your armpits, you're doing this correctly. So obviously you can see keeping that triangle when you keep that towel underneath the armpits. So let's go ahead and roll a couple. Also, when I set up to it, instead of a completely square stance, I like to set up with a little open feet. Just allows me to swing the putter head a little easier through the stroke. Again, too, if you see a lot of the great putters, whether it's Steve Stricker, Ben Hogan, Tiger, all these guys have a slightly open stance, and they really like to keep those arms with their body so they can keep it all in one unit. But really in setup, this is all I like to focus on. Some guys like to focus on whether their head or their eyes are over the ball or inside the ball. I've always kind of had a real neutral, eyes over the ball, if anything, maybe slightly inside of the ball. But I'm not a true believer in that is the end-all, be-all when it comes to setup. I think a lot of it has to do with the way your body moves and the way your body is already set up to the ball, rather than necessarily your head. You see a lot of guys, like Steve Stricker, like I mentioned, is one of the greatest putters of all time, and he has his eyes kind of over the ball as opposed to inside of it. So, it doesn't really matter as much, in my opinion, with that. But I think as long as you get a slightly open stance so your putter head can swing freely through the stroke, and you keep that towel underneath your armpits, I think you'll see a really good flowing stroke that you guys are going to make a lot of putts with. So like I mentioned, tempo is super important when it comes to the putting stroke. One can make the argument that it is the most important. I would say between tempo and setup, those are probably the two biggest components in my opinion. And so one simple drill that I love to do to practice my tempo would be to use a coin. It doesn't matter what kind of coin, penny, quarter, whatever it may be. And I like to just set it right on the back of my putter. Even if you have a blade putter, it's going to be a little harder, but it's still a very effective drill. I used to love doing it with the putter I had before this one, even though this one's got a little bigger back, but definitely a great drill to do with any kind of putter. But simply put it on the back, go ahead and make your normal stroke, and just do not let that coin fall off. You know, you've gone too quick or too jolty if you go back, and you go forward and that coin falls off. So you get some immediate feedback during the stroke, whether you're doing it correctly or not. But as long as you keep that coin from moving, you know that tempo is good. You know, you could have it fall off on the way back, or even at impact. I mean, if you might be speeding up at impact, your transition could be good, and then speeding up at impact, it's going to fall off there. So you want to make sure it stays on the entire time from start to finish. And you can do this drill with golf balls, without golf balls, it doesn't matter. I like to do it with golf balls, so that way you're actually making a real stroke at a hole with a golf ball rather than just kind of doing practice strokes. So you take a ball, it doesn't fall off there. It's really hard to control the speed of your putt if you're changing up the tempo in your putting stroke. That one went way too hard. If you're speeding up at impact, it could be coming off too soft. But whatever it may be, as long as you keep good, solid tempo, you're going to see a lot more putts drop. So next, like I mentioned, starting the ball on the correct line is crucial. You know, you can have the right read, you can have the right speed, but if you're not hitting the line that you're intending to hit, that is going to be devastating. And I think the biggest way that you can hit the correct line is hitting the center of the club face. I think more times than not, when you miss the line that you're trying to hit, it's because you either toe a putt or you hit it off the heel. So one drill that I love to do, and this is a quarantine edition. Normally I like to use tees in the ground, obviously, but just a simple gate drill. And I love doing this because it forces you to hit the ball in the center of the face every time. And you know immediately if you miss the center of the face because you're going to be hitting the cup or the tee or whatever obstacle you may be using to keep the putter head in shape. So basically, you know, you set your putter down, you get one cup here, and then one cup just barely on the outside of the other side of the putter. So that way you got a little bit of wiggle room because not everybody's perfect. Like Tiger. Tiger's incredible at this putting drill. He can do it almost perfectly every single time. But for those of us that aren't perfect like myself and every other golfer pretty much, we need a little bit of wiggle room here. So then you set the ball pretty evenly with where the line is going to be. And then you simply just kind of set up to it like you are a normal putt. And I'm even going to do the towel with the setup. So you can combine drills too. I mean, you don't have to do each of these drills individually. You're more than welcome to do a couple of these at a time. So I like to do both of these drills just to kind of keep my my setup in check while I'm doing this. And so simply give it a go at the cup. That was pretty good first try. So that one I hit a little inside of the center because I hit this outside cup where it hit the toe. So that way, the next stroke I know, okay, I want to make sure to adjust so I can get a little closer to center. Just like that. So basically, I like to do this drill maybe 5 feet away from the cup or 5 feet away from the target, whatever you're doing, inside, outside. And my goal is to hit 50 in a row without hitting either cup or either tee or wherever you are practicing this. You know, if you can get 50 in a row, maybe back it up to 10 feet or switch drills. It doesn't matter, but I like to have an end goal in mind so that way I can actually, focus, stay tight on my putting, really try to get every inch out of that practice that I can. So, obviously it's important not only to do these drills, but to also set goals and achievements along the way. So guys, I hope these tips definitely help your putting out. I know a lot of you aren't going to be able to get to a golf course for a little bit with the COVID and everything going on, but when you do get back out on the course, I challenge you to try some of these drills. I definitely think you'll see some feedback. And on a last note, I just want to say thank you so much, not only to you guys that have helped all of us young pros, but to all the Friars in the club who have supported us over the years, supporting us right now, especially when we need you the most. So I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, not only for me, but for the other Friars, young pros as well. I know they're all feeling the same exact way. So hopefully we see you guys at the Pro-Am this next year, and I hope to meet a lot of you here in the near future. So thanks again, guys.